done quicker. Just pit now. It's within the window. And see if you get some clear running.
It's Justin Wilson just ahead of him. Let's keep an eye on him. He will come to pit lane. Ryan Hunter-Reay makes what hopefully will be his final pit stop of the day.
These will be longer stops than those who wait because you need enough fuel to make it to the end, obviously. So those who can wait longer will take less fuel. They'll be a faster stop.
And when you talk about that, I mean, again, you're talking about tenths and hundreds of seconds, but that is the type of competition that we got in the series right now.
7.7 seconds for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He goes back on the racetrack.
Ryan Briscoe, we could see on the onboard, he had made a pit stop. Here he is getting back up to speed. Sorry, that's Power, excuse me. That's our leader, Will Power, but his teammate Briscoe did also take an opportunity to stop. And then I also saw Marco Andretti, just as we saw Ryan Hunter-Reay leave, his teammate Marco Andretti looked like he also was making an early stop.
Get an idea there of the lead that Will has with 22 laps to go. And it looks like that Ryan Hunter has come out just ahead of TK.
Well, this will be good.
And we've talked about these guys being buddies. I mean, they both, is he going to get it done? He gave him some space. I mean,
lots of room.
If you're ever down on pit road, when the session's over, those two guys, Ryan Hunter-Reay and TK, get together.
Justin Wilson relinquishes fourth, Robbie.
The question was, did he go blacks or reds? The answer is reds. No changes on the car except for a tire pressure adjustment. I asked Larry Curry, are you going to have to pay me $1? I said, no, Robbie, we got to go for it. He's going to give it 110. Watch out for him. Oh, man, a little bobble there. Disappointment. But watch out for Wilson. You know he's going to charge hard. But here comes Graham Rahal right behind him.
Little hang up on the right front there.
And when you see a 7.7 followed by a 9.1.
But it also seems like eternity sitting here when we're watching that right front guy. I mean, it's only a couple seconds, but man.
Especially when it's your car.
Yeah.
Like, come on, get that tire on there.
That's where I really got to clean up things in my head.
Simona Di Silvestro running 19th. Mario Moraes is just ahead of her, so that would be for position.
Look at that little battle there.
Yeah.
Graham, TK, and Ryan Hunter-Reay. Now TK looks like he's got a good run, guys. Good run. There he is. You bet.
Meanwhile, Franchitti, who was second, will make his final pit stop of the day.
Which would be the one longer lap for Dixon, as Jack was telling us.
Yeah, but the key is it's one longer for his teammate, Lindy.
Well, in comes Dario Franchitti, pulls right in front of Chip Ganassi. What to do? Oh, we have an incident on track, Bob.
We do, but Lindy, what we saw is that he went on blacks. So that was a change from what we've seen the other leaders do. So now, a bit of a roll of the dice. Dario Franchitti going with blacks and not reds.
How about that?
And that was Alex Tagliani that we saw spun there, kept the motor fired up, and turn 7's back underway.
Yep.
Guys, this is where it's going to get interesting. You have the 12 and the 6 and the 9 that have gone longer than any of the other front runners. And this is one of those mano-a-mano confrontations between two teams. If you're Clive Howell, how long do you leave the 12 out? If you are Mike Hull, you've already laid the gauntlet down saying, we think we can go one lap longer than the leader. This is going to be fun in the next couple of laps.
Meanwhile, this battle rages on here with Moraes, Di Silvestro, Mira, and Muto.
And we talk about the money laps, and we talked about Dixon as the fuel lightens up. Will Power is still running about a half a second faster than Dixon. So what Dixon's just going to have to do this, he's really fighting for that second spot because I think Will Power's got everybody covered.
Yeah. How close these guys are. Yeah. Guys and gals, Simona Di Silvestro putting the heat. And every once in a while, you see something fly off of the cars, especially down there. That is, there's so much rubber that they have peeled off these Firestones. It's called marbles. It collects on the tires, and she pops to the inside.
Go for the spot and get it from Mario Moraes.
Nice.
Yeah. That is that's where we've really seen everybody fight the brake pedal as you challenge that corner. So to get that pass done there as cleanly as she did.
Now here comes Mira to take a shot. Won't get it done, though.
And of course, Simona had some practice because she was short of the mark with Matos, learned her lesson, adjusted, and pow, took care of Mariah.
And she got a good payback right up in turn two.
Very similar to the leader.
Here he is, Will Power.
And I'm going to keep my eyes on Dixon, see if he... And Dixon stays on track.
All right.
So Dixon is getting his extra lap. There he goes. You can see him on the right of the screen.
Yep.
Guys, this was demoralizing for the 12th crew. They waited to see if Dixon was going to come out, and all of a sudden, he stayed out. They knew this was coming. Now they've got to go to work.
Work completed. Power is off once again.
Well, Dixon did a lap of 1:21 flat that time before, so we'll just see if he can challenge himself to better that.
Here comes Franchitti.
So that's the gap for Franchitti, who of course has already stopped and has blacks, and we saw Power took on reds.
Only one running up front who has not made his stop is Scott Dixon, and here he is.
And he's got to be pushing for all he's worth right now. This is what will pay. But there was a pretty big gap between he and Power. It would have to be a miracle for him to get out in front of him.
As I say, it's really more about him padding his position for that second spot than challenging Power.
Yeah, he might close to it. The Power had such a big gap.
Do you think he can stay out for one? You think we're going to see him in right now, or is he going to come by again?
I think he could go another. See if he does.
He's in.
Yep.
Negative.
He's in.
But it's still one more lap than Power. So well done, Scott.
Yeah, so I can't give you a difference of what he did that lap time before because he's ducked in. So.
And guys, watch. Remember, as you said, Jan, if you can go farther, you don't have to take as much fuel. Fuel travels into these cars at about 3 gallons a second. Would you like to get about 4/10?
Yeah, but you can see on the track map that Power is already making his way to 11. So we'll probably see him flash by.
Oh, yeah, there he is already.
Well, you're in
now watch Franchitti here.
Have to be
this will be close with his teammate. His teammate comes around the outside.
So Franchitti will be second, Dixon third. And Ryan Briscoe is going to be fourth, but the lead is held by Will Power, and he continues to set the pace here in Sonoma. Target Chip Ganassi drivers Dario Franchitti and Scott Dixon have been running together on the racetrack all afternoon long. Will they be able to team up and do anything about Will Power? Well, I don't think so, because Power has been so dominant here this afternoon. He is not going to lead every lap because during the pit stop, Scott Dixon led 2 laps. But Power has a 4.2 second lead on Franchitti and about a 5.4 second advantage on Dixon.
You know, then you go back and you look at Briscoe and Elio in that 4th and 5th spot, and we've talked about the Firestone red and black. So if you remember that first segment with both Elio and Briscoe, they really slowed up once we got to, I don't know what it was, probably lap 22 or something, or 20 on the reds, and just went backwards. They have both gone back out to finish this race on the Firestone primaries. Yep.
That chopper shot gave you a great vantage point, great idea. The elevation changes when you're shooting just off of turn 2. You can really get an idea of that. Now, we talked about in and out laps again. Let's review. And the number that really sticks out to me is Dixon. There's no question he was trying hard. Check out that out lap there. The rest of the laps, reasonably consistent. He gave up a little bit on the way in, maybe saving fuel, but the rest of those, that shows how competitive. We're talking tenths and hundredths of a second making the difference.
It shows you how good Dixon is to produce that kind of outlap. I mean, that's not just one time we've seen that. I mean, he usually is always at the top of the charts on that, you know, extra in-lap, out-lap to get it done.
There you see the number of overtake assists left.
So you think Dixon's going to get a little racy on Dario? He's got the Firestone Reds on it. You got to think he's going to say, hey, I got a lot more momentum. I can roll through the corners here with running these Reds.